block or a bolster or a blanket. And I am Jessie Mahoney, and this is Mindful Weekend Yoga with the Mindful Healthcare Collective. And just a reminder to go at your own pace and don't do anything that causes you discomfort. And I will provide some alternatives or modifications if needed. And I like to have a theme.
Oh, maybe that's me.
Can you hear?
Oh, I thought maybe it was you. I don't know if anybody else was having an issue, but you were breaking up, but maybe it's me and not you. Okay, I don't know if anybody else.
Let me know if anyone else is having trouble.
It was fine for me. It was
Okay, thank you. Okay, wonderful. Well, I hope it improves.
Thanks.
So, find a comfortable seat on your mat in whatever position works for you. Ideally, hips above your knees, hips ground into the earth, and your spine growing long and tall out of your pelvis towards the sky. Just take a moment to land here and to pause. Today, I wanted to focus on this idea of the process. And we focus so much in our culture and society about achieving our goals and getting places and accomplishing things. And that really the purpose of all of these goals is who you become in the process. And yoga is actually the same. It's not about standing on your head. It's not about how far you can stretch or whether you can touch your toes, but it's about the process and who you become in the process of the pose and who you are in each of the poses. And the offering is to enjoy that today. Notice who you are, pause and be present with each pose and experience it, learn from it. Notice the transitions. Notice what you like and what you don't like, what your body wants to do and doesn't want to do. With curiosity, not with judgment. And use the process of the twists and the stretches to make space and learn about yourself. And any challenges you face, can those challenges grow you and make you stronger? And as you think about this, deepen your breath, lengthen the inhale and the exhale. Breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Notice the breath travel through your nostrils. Notice it deepen into your chest. And on the exhale, notice it leave your body. Enjoy the process and the sensations. What can you learn from it? And who do you become with the changes in breath? Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. And notice how that feels. What does it feel like to have a hand on your heart, connecting to who you are. Bring your hands to heart center, palms together, finger pads together, elbows out wide. Take in another big deep breath through your nose and a huge out breath. Another big deep breath in through your nose and a huge out breath again. Allow your breathing to come back to normal and connect for a moment with your intention. Your intention for being here this morning. And can part of that intention not just be the goal of being here, but the experience of being here, the moments of being here, and the process of being here. And with that, slowly lower your hands to your thighs and allow your eyes to open. Let the light come in gently. And just notice who you are at this point in the process. How do you feel? What's different than when you began? If you're sitting on something, feel free to move it out from underneath you. Ground your hips into the earth once again. Rock side to side. Move the flesh of your seat out of the way. Inhale both arms up towards the sky, palms together. And on the exhale, bring your right palm to the earth and reach the left hand towards the left. Ground the left hip into the earth. Stretch the whole left side body. With intention, breathe deeply into the left lung base and let it out. Another big deep breath and let it out. Inhale both arms back up towards the center. Reach tall towards the sky. Exhale, drop your shoulders for a moment. Inhale, reach tall towards the sky. Exhale, drop your left hand to the mat. Right hand reaches towards the left. Ground the right hip into the floor. Stretch the whole right side body. Make space for the breath to nourish you. Enjoy the process. Notice the shifts along the way. Inhale both arms back up towards the sky. Reach tall. Exhale, drop your shoulders. Inhale, reach tall once again. Twist towards the right this time. Right hand tense behind you, left hand to left knee. On the inhale, reach your spine tall towards the sky. And on the exhale, bring it out. Enjoy this process of letting go. Inhale, reach tall and long towards the sky. And exhale, twist. Once again, inhale, reach tall and long. Exhale, twist. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky. Twist back to center. And on the exhale, twist around your central core to the left side. Left fingertips tent behind you. Right hand to right knee. Inhale, reach your spine long and tall. And exhale, twist towards the left. Inhale, reach long and tall. And exhale, twist. Last breath here. Use the breath to make space. And then let things go with intention. Inhale your fingertips up towards the sky once again. And twist back to center. On the exhale, allow your arms to reach out towards the side and come down to the floor at your sides. Take a moment to notice here where you are in the process. What feels different, perhaps more spacious. And then come forward onto your hands and knees. Hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. Even tabletop position. Take a moment to ground into the earth with your fingertips. All 10 fingers press into the floor. All 10 knuckles press into the floor. Tops of the feet press into the floor. Shins into the floor. Spine flat, as if you could balance a tray. And notice the breath here. Breathe in and out. Enjoy the process of each breath. On the next inhale, arch your spine, stick your sit bones and the crown of your head up towards the sky in a cow pose. Exhale, round and suck your navel up towards the sky, drop your head. Inhale, reach your crown of your head towards the sky, sit bones up towards the sky. Exhale, cat pose. Suck your navel in, round your spine, reach up towards the sky. 2 more like this. Inhale, round, crown of the head reaches towards the sky. Sit bones reach up towards the sky. Exhale, round your spine into cat pose. We'll meet back in neutral, spine flat. For a moment, sink your hips back, knees spread wide, toes together. Come into child's pose here. Walk your fingertips long towards the front of the mat and bring your forehead to the floor. Your third eye presses into the mat. Hips sink back, low towards your heels, towards the back of the mat. And just notice all the sensations. Take a moment to check in with who you are in this pose, in this moment. What feels good? Is there space behind your heart? Can you sense the breath there? Can you send love and compassion there? When you're ready, come back up to hands and knees. We'll walk our hands forward, a handprint. Curl your toes and shoot your hips up towards the sky into downward dog. Move gently. Notice the transitions. Walk your heels out side to side. Press into both hands and press your hips back towards the back of the mat. Notice the shifts. Who are you in this pose? Lift up high onto your tiptoes. Lower your right heel towards the floor, bend the left knee. Notice the shift. Inhale, lift back up onto both tiptoes. Exhale, left heel presses towards the floor, right knee bends. Inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes and slowly and gently lower both heels once again towards the floor. Press into your hands, shift your hips back towards the back of the mat, towards the sky.
Notice the stretch in the back of the shoulders. Allow your head to hang. Slowly, inch by inch, walk your hands back towards your feet. Come into a forward fold. You can widen your feet a little if you need to, widen the stance. Allow your head to hang and grasp your elbows in your hands. Lift up all 10 toes and lower them down towards the earth. With curiosity, shift your weight forward into your toes and then back into your heels, and a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. Once again, shift forward, back, to the left and to the right. Unclasp your hands and reclasp them at your sacrum. Shoot your fingertips towards the sky. Extend your elbows and allow your hands to fall over your head towards the front of the mat. Breathe deeply into the fronts of the shoulders. And notice who you are here. What can you learn from being in this position? Bend your left knee, straight your right, and twist gently to the right side. Send the breath to the nooks and crannies behind the heart here, the back of the right thigh, the front of the right shoulder. Send attention to all of the spaces that may be calling out for attention. Use the breath. Twist back to center. Bend the right knee, straighten the left, twist towards the left side. Breathe in deeply and breathe out. One more deep breath in and out. Come back to center and allow your hands to fall forward just another centimeter or an inch if possible. Allow the head to release completely. Bring your hands back to your sacrum. Allow them to run down the backs of your legs and engage your belly and roll up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. Your head will be the last to rise. Notice the transitions, the shifts, change in blood flow, the tingles, how you feel here. If you're comfortable, close your eyes, lift up all 10 toes and lower them down. Lift your kneecaps up, tuck your pelvis, grow your spine out of your pelvis and drop your shoulders. Palms face towards the front of the mat. Deep breath in and deep breath out. Another deep breath in and deep breath out. Inhale your arms up to the sky, palms together, and bring them together in front of the heart. Connect for a moment with who you are in this moment, where you are on this journey. There's no place to go, no goal to accomplish. I wanted to offer the thought that sometimes when we struggle, things are harder. But when we stop struggling, we can just float. So can you just float through the rest of this experience and maybe float through the rest of your day? Give up the resistance and just enjoy the process and the experience. Deep inhale through your nose. Huge exhale. Lower your hands to your sides. Inhale, reach your fingertips long and tall towards the sky. Gently arch back, palms together. Fold forward towards the earth for a forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Straight your spine, crown of your head reaches towards the front of the mat. Exhale, fold forward once again. Inhale for a half lift once again. Notice the process and the sensations. And exhale, forward fold once again. One more round of this, noticing your goal is likely to get back to downward dog. Inhale for a half lift, crown of the head reaches forward, spine straight, legs straight, stick your buttocks towards the back of the mat. Exhale, forward fold. Slowly walk your hands forward into downward dog and pause for a moment. Notice once again the sensations. Take a moment to ground all 10 fingers into the earth, all 10 knuckles into the earth, palms into the earth. Reach your sit bones skyward and back towards the back of the mat. On the next inhale, raise your right leg towards the sky, bend your knee and stack your hips. Roll open the right ankle. Notice the stretch in the front of the right hip. Ground the left heel towards the floor. Left leg is straight. Both hands connect and press into the earth for stability and strength. Notice the process here. Roll your ankle in the other direction if you haven't switched already. Extend your heel towards the back wall. Long, reach the heel as long as you can. And on the exhale, bring your foot gently in between your hands. Come into Anjaneyasana, so low lunge. Walk the right foot forward so the ankle is in front of the knee. Lower your back heel to the floor. Untuck your back foot. Engage your belly and slowly roll up to reach the sky. Crown of the head reaches the sky, arms reach upward. Exhale, sink into the hips gently. Notice the transitions. Inhale, reach your fingertips tall. Exhale, sink into those hips gently. Take a moment, tuck the right hip back and the left hip forward. Use the breath to lengthen and sink and ground towards the earth. Pause for a moment here and just notice who you are in this pose. Notice the strength in your body that's allowing you to hold this pose. Give yourself credit for all the things in your body that are working in this moment. Slowly lower both hands to the floor. Bring the right hand to the inside of the right foot and walk the right foot towards the outer edge of the mat. You're gonna roll to the outer edge of your right foot. Come into lizard pose here. So your right knee falls slightly open towards the right side of the mat. Both palms on the floor to start. And notice the huge opening in the hips. And what happens in the process of this? We carry a lot of tension and emotion in the hips. If you wish and you're flexible, you can come down to your elbows here. And if that's not comfortable, just stay up on your hands or your fists, whatever works for you. 3 more breaths here. Use this position to try to let 1 or 2 things go with intention. Use the process here. Last breath. Bring your knee back to center, foot flat on the floor. Walk your right foot towards the center of the mat. Bring your right hand to the outer edge. Find your center in the middle. Then place both palms on the floor and bring your right foot back to meet the left. Press back up to downward dog. Even yourself out here. Walk the dog. Shift your hips. Use whatever movements feel right in this moment. Press the hips back if that feels good. Even things out. Huge in-breath and huge out-breath. On the next inhale, raise your left foot towards the sky. Stack the hips, bend the left knee, open the front of the left hip and roll your ankle. One direction and then the other. Pay attention, both hands press into the earth, right leg is straight. Send the breath to the front of the left hip. Extend your left heel towards the back wall, and on the exhale, gently bring the left foot in between your hands. Come into Anjaneyasana on this side. Walk the left toes forward, untuck the back foot, back knee towards the earth, back shin on the floor. With focus and intention, reach both arms up towards the sky. Exhale, sink into the pose gently. Inhale, reach towards the sky. Exhale, sink a little lower. Who are you on this side? Are you more balanced? Less balanced? Tack the left hip back, right hip forward. Notice everything that's working here. Little toe muscles, core muscles. Inhale, reach your fingertips long. Exhale, sink a little lower. One more deep, long breath towards the sky. Exhale towards the earth. Lower both hands to the mat on the inside of the left foot. Walk the left foot out towards the left. Roll the left knee out towards the side onto the outer edge of the left foot. Notice the huge stretch in the front of the hips and the groin. Breathe into that space. Use this moment, this process, to let something go. You choose it. Use the breath. One more deep breath here. Roll your left knee back to center. Left foot flat on the mat. Walk your foot back to center. Hands on either side. Square your hips and just sink towards the floor gently in the center, evening out the stretch. Place both palms on the mat. Walk your left foot around towards the back. You can come to hands and knees initially if that's easier, or straight to downward dog. Hips reach towards the sky. 2 deep breaths here, evening things out. Lift up onto your tiptoes now and step, hop, or jump towards the front of the mat to a forward fold. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Head releases. Engage your belly and slowly roll up to stand. Head will be the last to rise. Shoulders come up towards your ears. Reach them towards the back of the mat and allow them to fall to the floor, palms open. Deep breath here. And let it out. We'll do 2 sun salutations here. Inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky, slight arch, palms together, hands come to meet at heart center. Lower your hands towards the earth. Inhale, arch back once again, palms together, fold forward towards the earth. Inhale for a half lift, spine straight. Exhale, forward fold. Palms flat to the earth, step back to plank, top of the push-up. Pause for a moment. Be present with all the sensations. Tip forward onto your tiptoes and slowly lower down towards the earth. You can bend your knees, bend your elbows, come down flat to the earth. Forehead touches the floor. Untuck your toes. Inhale for a low cobra. Weight out of your hands. Exhale towards the earth. Press into your hands, curl your toes, press back to tabletop or downward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Huge in breath and huge out breath. Take a moment of stillness here. Lift up onto your tiptoes and step, hop or jump towards the front of the mat. Once again, forward fold. Inhale for a half lift, spine straight, legs straight, crown of the head shines forward. Exhale, forward fold. Engage your belly and slowly roll up to stand. Arms reach skyward, slight arch, palms together, hands come to rest at heart center. Huge in breath and huge out breath. Lower your arms towards the earth, reach outwards and up towards the sky, palms together, arch gently back, palms together, fold forward to a forward fold towards the earth. Inhale for a half lift, spine straight, exhale, forward fold. Palms flat to the earth, step back to plank. Pause. Shift your weight forward, bend your elbows, bend your knees if needed, and lower chaturanga towards the earth. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, forehead to the floor. Press back to downward dog. Shoot your hips skyward. Bend your knees and come down to child's pose once again. Knees apart, toes together. Sink your hips back towards your heels. Fingertips reach as long towards the front of the mat as possible. Notice the stretch in the shoulders, and your forehead or third eye comes to rest on the mat. Take 5 huge breaths here. When you're ready,
We'll meet back in downward dog. Hips reach skyward. Move gently and with intention. Ground your hands into the earth once again. Press your hips back and up towards the sky. Head hangs, neck completely releases. Slowly walk your hands back towards your hips, towards your feet, sorry. And allow your head to hang in a forward fold. Grasp your elbows and just let go of everything for a moment. Engage your belly, lower your hands towards the floor, and slowly roll up to stand. Inch by inch, head will be the last to rise. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. Draw them back towards the back of the mat and allow them to fall towards the floor. From here, we'll do some balance poses with the idea in balance that it's the process, not the goal of the balance or how long you manage to hold the pose. So let's start with tree pose. Lift the toes of your left foot skyward. Lower them down. Ground the four corners of your foot into the earth. Kickstand your right foot, heel towards the calf. If you wish, you can bring your heel up towards your inner thigh with your right hand. So right heel to left inner thigh. Knee points out towards the side, 90 degrees. Bring your hands to heart center. And pause for a moment here in tree pose. Use the breath to center and ground. Notice everything here that's working to keep you upright. All the little muscles in your toes, in the left leg, in the left glutes, in your hips, in your core. If you wish and feel stable, reach your branches up towards the sky. Open your fingertips, reach all 10 fingers up towards the sunlight. Deep breath in. 2 more breaths here. Bring your hands back to heart center. Shift your knee forward and slowly lower your foot towards the earth and just shake it all up. Notice any kinks with compassion. Roll your shoulders back if needed. And from here, lift up all 5 toes of your right foot. Lower them into the earth. Ground all 4 corners. Kickstand your left heel towards the right calf. With your left hand, you can grab your left foot, bring it into the inner thigh if you wish. Leave it on your calf if you wish, or even as a kickstand. No position is better than the other. Bring your hands back to heart center. Notice here all the small muscles working. All the things in your body that are engaged to make this work. Take a moment to send the breath to the space behind the heart. Allow it to fill completely in diastole. Inhale, reach both arms skyward like tree branches if you wish. Bring your hands back to heart center. Turn your knee back to center and lower it towards the floor. Shake it out.
Drop your hands towards the floor. Bring them to your sacrum behind you. Shoot your fist towards the floor. Puff your chest out, shoulders drop. A huge deep breath with intention to that space behind the heart. And let it out. One more deep breath here into that space behind your heart. And allow your hands to drop to your sides. And just notice once again how you feel. Who are you now? What has shifted? Could you tap into this person in the rest of your daily life? Today, tomorrow, and the week ahead. From here, we'll come to sit on the mat. Extend your feet out long in front of you. Rock side to side on your hips. Ground them into the earth. Tilt your pelvis forward gently. Flex your toes towards your nose. Knees can be bent a little bit. And on the inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward towards your toes. Round the back of your spine and allow your head to drop. Notice all the sensations. If you wish, you can lower your knees towards the floor. Breathe deeply into your chest here. Notice the process. Another deep breath in. Huge breath out. Slowly walk your hands up your shins and your knees to your thighs. Reach the crown of your head towards the sky and drop your shoulders. Extend both arms long towards your toes, parallel to your legs. Flex the toes once again towards your nose and engage every small muscle in your body. And with intention, roll backwards towards the floor as slowly as you can, inch by inch, using every small muscle. Enjoy the process. Notice the process. Who do you become as you lower? Where is your strength? And when you reach the floor, allow everything to relax and sink into the earth. Allow the earth to hold you. Palms open towards the sky. Toes fall towards the outer edge of the mat for a moment. Bend your knees, bring your heels towards your buttocks, soles of the feet flat to the floor. Flip your palms towards the floor. On the inhale, lift up into bridge pose. Hips reach towards the sky. Knees energetically connect. Shimmy your shoulders underneath your chest. Chest opens towards the sky. You can grab the outer edges of your mat and press them towards your heels or clasp your hands under your hips. Reach your hips skyward. Chest open, heart light, hanging in the chest. Lots of space around it. Slowly untuck your shoulders, lower your hips towards the floor. Bend your knees in towards your chest, give them a hug, rock side to side. And with intention, bring your feet into a reverse tabletop, shins parallel towards the sky, knees directly above your hips. Inhale, reach both arms up towards the sky also. So fingertips reach towards the sky, toes are flexed, reach towards the sky, and shins parallel in a reverse tabletop. On the exhale, reach your right arm and left leg long. Inhale, bring them back to center. It's a dying bug. Exhale, left hand, right leg, reach long in either direction. Inhale, back to tabletop. Exhale, right arm and left leg. Notice everything that works to do this. Exhale, bring back to center. Reach right leg, left arm long. Come back to center. One more on each side. Right arm, left leg, reach long in opposite directions. Press the heel and the fingertips in opposite directions. Bring them back to center. Last time, right leg long, left arm. Come back to center. Slowly lower your hands towards the earth. And with intention, slowly lower your feet together. Press your knees together and lower your feet towards the earth as well, inch by inch. Use your abdominal muscles and your core strength to lower everything towards the floor. Inch by inch by inch. From here, bring your knees into your chest once again. Give them a nice hug. And then allow them to fall towards the right side. Come into a twist. Once your right knee hits the floor, lift up your hips, shift them gently an inch or two towards the left side to stack your hips underneath you. Right knees point towards the right. Right hand can be on the top of the left knee. You can extend your left arm towards the left if you wish. And if you wish, extend your gaze towards the left as well. Notice who you are here. Notice the process. Any judgments of discomfort? Do you need to adjust anything? Can you be curious? Two more deep breaths. Last one. Turn your gaze back to center. Release the right hand from the left knee. Shift your knees back to center. Even out your hips underneath you. Lift up the hips and shift them an inch towards the left side. Bend your knees into your chest and allow them to fall towards the left. Stack your hips once again. Left hip under the right if you need to adjust. Bring your left hand to the right knee and right arm extends out towards the right. If you wish, you can turn your gaze towards the right. Knees to the left, gaze to the right. Deep breath here. Notice who you are here. And what could you possibly let go of right here in this moment? What might this twist be squeezing out of you? Two more breaths here. Turn your gaze back to center. Release the left hand from the knee. Bring your knees back to center. Square your hips to the floor if you need to shift them back to center. Bring your hands to both sides of your hips. Untuck your shoulders. Bring the soles of your feet together, knees apart. Come into Supta Baddha Konasana or reclining butterfly. Knees fall towards the floor, feet together, groin open. Bring your left hand to your heart and your right hand to your belly. Who are you in this pose? Who are you after this practice? Bring your hands to the outer thighs and gently bring your knees back to center. With your hands, extend your legs long in front of you. Heels about 6 inches apart. Allow your toes to fall towards the outer edge of the mat. Bring your hands to your side. For a moment before you relax completely, engage every muscle in your body. Squeeze them tight. Squeeze your face tight, your buttocks tight, your fists tight. Flex your toes towards your nose. Lift your toes and your hands and your head up off the floor, and then release everything towards the earth. Let everything go. In this moment of complete surrender, complete letting go, and you relax every bit of you. Come to complete stillness and complete peace. Allow yourself to enjoy the process. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes.
Allow consciousness to return into your body. Notice how you feel in this moment. Notice how when you were able to let go of the struggle and the intention, how easily you were able to float. Take a deep inhale, stretch your arms long above you and your toes long in front of you. And a huge exhale. Bring your knees into your chest and roll over to one side. And pause for a moment. Enjoy the process of coming out of Shavasana. Notice the sensations. Notice the relaxation. Notice the spaciousness. Press into your hands and slowly come back up to a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like for you. Ground your hips once again into the earth, the stability beneath. Grow your spine long and tall out of your hips. Crown of your head reaches towards the sky. Shoulders drop towards the earth. Pause here for a moment. Enjoy the process of yoga coming to an end. Bring your hands to heart center, palms together, thumbs connect to your sternum and your heart beneath. Elbows reach out wide. Take in a big deep inhale and a big exhale. One final moment to notice how you feel in this moment. Who are you in this pose, in this final moment on your mat today? And how can you bring that person off the mat into the world after class? Thank you all so much for practicing with me this morning. Have a beautiful Saturday and a beautiful weekend. And for anyone who wishes to join, we'll do yoga again on Labor Day morning, 9 o'clock Pacific time. Namaste.